In the beginning, there was nothing in the universe. The only thing that existed was the void. It stood quietly in the void as the only existence of eternity. It was deep in sleep, as if it didn't know it existed. Suddenly, at a certain moment, it became conscious of itself and realized that it existed. So it began to contemplate, I am. It only knew that it was the only being in the universe, and its name was I am. This was the moment when the first dimension was born. The first dimension is where the void becomes conscious of itself, where consciousness becomes aware of its own existence. This being only knows that it is the only one that exists. At the moment when it became conscious of itself, the entire ocean of the universe contained only its thoughts. It wanted to know who it was and what it could become. These thoughts formed waves in the universe and began to move. Suddenly, these movements emitted a sound, a vibration. Om. These vibrations started to get higher and higher and higher. Then the different vibrations began to mix, forming the most beautiful of songs. The first dimension is the mind. The first dimension is the thoughts. There is nothing but consciousness in the universe. That's the only thing that exists. The self-realization consciousness has about itself gives rise to its yearning to know and experience itself. The vibrations of its thoughts began to create different dimensions and later different realities. But unity is not created. It is an eternal truth. Because when consciousness became aware of itself, it realized that it was the only existence in the entire universe, which was unity. Those different dimensions and realities are just projections of its thoughts, its imagination, not the real truth. Unity is the place from where all things come from and all things go to. Different dimensions and realities are just the journey consciousness takes to understand and explore itself. Consciousness arose from the void, became aware of its own existence, and then began to be curious about itself. It had many questions about itself, and it needed to find the answers. Therefore, the first dimension was just an idea projected by it, the first step in knowing itself. I am is its statement, its name. With this statement, it needs to find out what it could become. In the first dimension, there is no time, no space, and everything is not separated. There is only unity, and only the contemplation of consciousness on itself. It is the ocean of thoughts of the universe. It is where consciousness becomes aware of its own existence and produces the most important statement in the universe. I am. I am that I am. I am everything. I am all. I am nothingness. I am the void. This consciousness only knows that it is all. It is everything. And it is also the void. But it cannot experience what it is. So this was the beginning of everything. But not the matter, not the galaxies, just the idea of being someone else.